Now, there we go. Click the fucking button. It works now. What's the motherfucking deal, man? Welcome to the den. I'm glad that you all could join me this evening. Got a lot of, not necessarily a lot, but just a very interesting thing I want to get into because, hold on just 1 second. All right, sorry about that. I had to yell some profanities at Scotty. He's a terrible dog. But no, again, Ed Honcho HTX on the Twitter, Ed Honcho HTX on the gram, then so live on the Facebook. Make sure you're following all of those so you guys can get notifications. I know people have been saying that they haven't quite been getting the notifications. I try to send them out on all of those platforms so that way, you know, if you are on one of those, that you can get it. It pops up in the Discord. Here's the thing, though, right? And I know, I know y'all will pull up right when the thing comes up, and it's my fault. It's my fault because what I'll do is like they got a thing where you can put copy and create, right? And so basically, you can copy most of the settings that you have from a previous stream and just redo it. And since most of my description is the same, I always tend to do that, and I just change the thumbnail up and change the time. But what happens when you do that is it automatically sets that time that you click it, and so it'll have, you know, say it's 2 or 3 minutes away or whatever, and it'll automatically have so people will start showing up, even though I may intend to go, you know, 20 or 30 minutes later, whatever it may be. So it's my fault. I guess I should just click a new thing, put all the shit in there to do more copy and pasting, and then set the time so it shows up. But let's see what we got joining us this evening, this afternoon, whatever. So I was just getting used to saying afternoon. Now I'm saying it in the fucking nighttime. But we'll get it right one day. But also, I'm gonna be honest. 0.5. I don't know what you call it. I guess thickness on a pen is really too thin. I gotta have 0.7. But I don't mind 0.5 on a pencil. Like, and I'm weird like this. Like it's two pen. It's a pen and a pencil that I like. I really don't like writing with anything else. I like these fucking these G2 Pilot pens. They fucking write real smooth. And I only like the Bic mechanical pencils. Don't know why. Anything else is like it's like annoying for me to write with. Does anybody else like? Does anybody have a favorite writing utensil while I run down this? I'd like to know that. That would be very interesting. Mr. Culture, aka the Don of the Discord. Let me make sure I get everybody jotted down. And I need to pay out yesterday's pistachios too. I don't think I took them down this morning for the day den. So if you're in the day den, I'll go back and check it. I'm trying to see who was there early and get that. But like I said, you too, also starting at the end of the month, we're gonna reset the pistachios, and then so monthly at the end of the month, whoever has the most pistachios will end up, you know, getting a prize of some sort. And you know, the biggest donator, because I want to show love. Like y'all do a lot for me, man, and so I appreciate that. So whoever, like I say, support the most, they'll get a prize. And just I want to be able to give back. It's the very least I could do. Let's see, Miss Bell. What's the motherfucking deal? How are you, Miss Bell? Hope you're feeling well. Vince, what's the motherfucking deal, man? And I don't know, man. I don't know when I'm ever talking Texans again. John from NY. You know, assaulting Asians always. No, John would never do such a thing. What's the motherfucking deal, John? Time patrol.
Dan Strong donated $5. The purge might be a good thing. I'll be at the library. Ignorance won't find me there.
Shout out to Dan, the motherfucking man. Good to hear from you, man. I appreciate it. Yeah, man, if you go to the library, you will not. I mean, you're going to have it pretty easy. Now, I don't know how long you could hold it down at the library, but where's Heidi? If Heidi pops up anytime soon, I already know what joke is coming. I expect it. Wokety woke, what's the motherfucking deal? Glad you could join us this evening. Sweetberry, Yeah, so you know, you right, you at the top of the pistachio pyramid now, but you won't always be the queen of the pistachio. Somebody coming for your crown. Miss Jen, how are you this evening? What's the motherfucking deal? K Grace, always good to see Miss Grace in the place. Hope you are doing well. And M Grace, again, a family that dens together, wins together. So shout out to M Grace and K Grace. D the Gamma, what's the motherfucking deal? How are you? I hope all is going well. If I'm not mistaken, I thought I saw a post that said that your moderator was recovering a bit. And so if so, I hope that continues to be the trend. So I hope that everything works out well for you and your family. And I hope that, that I know your daughter, you said she had some issues in the tornado a while back. So I hope everything is acting well. Going well. I apologize. I'm laughing at Jen to selling the fucking eye rock. That's hilarious. This is why I love the den, man. It is a party. Yes, Mr. Young, 2 dens. We're gonna do day dens. Plan to do day dens all through the week. You know, kind of like it used to for a while. But like I said, you know, with the quarantine, like I said, it's the least I can do. Hopefully, maybe provide some entertainment. You know, the den folk, and when we get together, it's always a good time. So, you know, while everybody's kind of being quarantined and trapped in the house, you know, we'll see how it goes. Maybe for a couple of weeks. Like I said, I'm studying for a couple of things, and so I'm gonna be putting some pressure on myself. But I think this is, you know, they say pressure makes diamonds. But let's slide. Let me slide. Let me see. Jason S, what's the motherfucking deal? I apologize. I overlooked you there. I see Miss Cartier. Hopefully things are getting better in Vegas. Wink, what's the motherfucking deal? Let's see. El Murray, what's the motherfucking deal? Yeah, I want to see your face. Blender Master, what's the motherfucking deal? Let me see. Let me see, make sure I ain't missing nobody, man. You know it ain't nothing but love. Beyond a funny nigga, strong and grand, what's the motherfucking deal? Chill HD, what's the motherfucking deal? And anybody I may have missed, I did not diss. Let's talk about it, right? Let's talk about it. So, like I said, the topic is the Purge, right? And I know y'all thinking like the Purge, like the movie. Not quite, right? Not quite. Oh, but before we get into the Purge, I mentioned something earlier and I never got into it. And I'd asked John about Trader Joe's earlier. I've never been to Trader Joe's. I've never seen a Trader Joe's. I've only heard of a Trader Joe's. But I had this dream, and this is why I gotta stop fucking with y'all. Because I had a dream, and like a lot of the den folk were in it, and I haven't seen a significant number of you. I guess it's just like this image of y'all that I have in my mind. So again, that's why I believe the subconscious, or I believe that dreams are a bit of your reality, and you know your subconscious doing some little weird shenanigans. Do they have meaning? Maybe not, but I think it's usually things that are important to you mixed with whatever random things are floating about in your mind. And so oh yeah, man, I was into that. I wonder if he's getting any I'm gonna see if I can look on some of the older comments and see if I can reach out to him. I'm glad you mentioned that. Shout out to Culture, man. Shout out to Culture. I'm glad you mentioned that. And so, you know, and this is not. I mean, I started reading it, and then, like I said, I've been kind of working on this thing because I plan on getting some certifications. I'm going to take this time to make an advantage of it. So, it's a bunch of stuff going. I'm gonna get into that in just a second. Then we're gonna actually get into the topic, you know, one day. But I had a dream that we were at Trader Joe's, and it was more like, I guess, I don't even really remember the last. It wasn't quite like that, but it was like more like a coffee shop, right? And all of y'all were in it, so and it was like a big interaction. Like everybody was interacting with each other. Something weird had happened, and I wish I should have wrote it down when I woke up, because sometimes I try to write when I do have vivid dreams. I try to write them down because it doesn't happen that often. But a lot of you, the regulars, were definitely there. And like I say, or the idea that I have that y'all look like were there. And it's very funny because I guess I didn't even really like. Not, I don't necessarily put an image, like unless I've seen a photo of y'all, then I have an image on the phone. Otherwise, like I don't. I just kind of, I just kind of know the voice. I just have an assumption. I don't really know. But so it was interesting. I guess the versions of you that were formulated in my mind at this mystical Trader Joe's that like I've never been to or never seen. So maybe I should probably Google that and see what that looks like. See if it was even relatively close to what I was thinking it was. But it was more like a fucking coffee shop than anything. So it wasn't like quite like a store. So it was different. But Baker Man, what's the motherfucking deal? But but yes, Jung and I definitely I definitely plan on finishing that. It may be a little bit with the little workload I'm intending to take on here, but it will get done. But there was some odd and right. Prepaid was there. Jay Dizzle was there. Miss Grace was there. John was there. John, from what I recall, and I guess by the term tall, I guess taller, bald-headed gentleman. I have no idea. You were a bald-headed guy in the dream. But then, like, some of it was, like, people were there, but maybe not, like, I didn't necessarily interact. So, like, people were, like, at little groups in the table. And I'm wondering, I guess it's hard for me to remember all the details now, but I'm wondering, like, in my mind, if those groups were sitting at these tables, if they were similar to the groups that people tend to be fond of one another in the den, right? You know what I'm saying? So, I don't know if it was that bad. Somewhere around there. But, going to the farm, it's the districts, the Hunger Games. At least we'll be very interconnected, right? So it was like just weird. And so again, like I say, it was an interesting thing, but I just threw that out there. The other thing, and we were talking about earlier too, with this whole situation, you're either going to get better or you're going to get worse. And I think a lot of people, are going to, I think a lot of people are going to take L's. Like I say, talk about, unskilled labor and, situations like that. But at the same time, like I say, if you're really looking for it, there are a lot of people and a lot of opportunities that are coming up, right? And like I told you about the CompTIA and stuff like that. And some people say CompTIA certifications are dead or they're not worth whatever. I feel like it's a decent entry point to get going. And so like I say, I already got my A+ schedule. And so that's why I've been focusing mainly on that. But I came across something, and there's a guy, he's going to be teaching network and security for free. And he's a guy who used to work with the Navy. He's done, work for the FBI, a lot of stuff like that. And his thing was that he, like he said during his time, he's going to give back. He don't want to make no money, so he's not tripping on any of that. And then he says, people who are willing to participate and be active for it, depending on, certain folks, that they'll have the opportunity to have their testing paid for. So, and I want to share that with anybody who did that. So I got the question for I got like I said, I got one for the, because I have the A+. What is it? Yeah, 1001 and 1002. And I have I have the practice exams for two of those. I have practice exam for each one of those. And then I have the after that I was going to do the Amazon Cloud Practitioner, because they say that one only takes like maybe a week or two to study, and you can knock that out. And I have a practice exams for those too. That's like I said, that's the route I'm going to go. Like I say, because I plan on by the other side of this thing to be in better shape, to be, like I say, at least have some certifications, because you know, my collegiate experience. We'll talk about that one day, and and get back on my Spanish. And like so, I have been last couple of days. You know, like I say, just kind of starting from scratch. Oh, every time I do start trying to learn, if I start from the beginning, even though I have some vocabulary, but when I don't use it, it's always the not the syntax. What's the word? Because you know, like with Spanish, they have the different masculine, the feminine, and how do non-binaries operate in Spanish? That must be hell, right? You have the masculine, the feminine, and then like I say, what is it? I forgot the terminology for it, but you know when you're talking about is it pronouns? When you're talking about yeah, from first person, when you're talking about they, you're talking about we, and so the words are different via the pronouns. Yeah, yeah, yeah. That's the plan. Like I said, I plan to knock a couple out. Like I say, even if it just can get my foot in the door, because I saw a couple of things. Like I said, y'all know what the little background situation, but I saw a couple of places that are willing to entertain that, even if you got that going, as long as you have some certifications, and then some of them will conjugate. Conjugal visit, is that what you're talking about, Sweetberry? I don't know you like that, ma'am. Hey, let's take this thing slowly. But 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 my thing is so that's why I said it wouldn't hurt to have some of those on the resume, just to entertain some new opportunities. Again, like I say, because I see a lot of stuff I think is going to start changing. And so, if you can get your foot in the door, get a little experience, I don't think it's going to be bad. But I was just throwing it out there for anybody who may be interested. I don't think those things are as tough as some may seem. They're not really. Like, I think the A+, I'm not really worried about it. I think the situation with that is just really updating my terminology and shit like that. Like I said, I kind of self-taught myself a lot of shit, and probably never learned it the proper way, or maybe the proper protocol to do certain things. And then I've been rusty because I hadn't fucked around for a while. Anyway, that's not what we're here to talk about. We're here to talk about the fucking purge, right? We wasted 25 minutes talking about nothing. And they're like, Honcho, shut the fuck up. We don't care about any of this shit you're talking about. We want to talk about wiping each other out, the American way. Man, somebody else was telling me about watching Boosie IG today and said that motherfucker was on there talking about pimping hoes and and doing some crazy shit. What are you talking about, Ray? Good evening, Ray, if that is your real name. How are you this evening, sir? My good sir. Here's the thing, right? So my deal is, I'm looking at how the world. I bet. I'm dreaming of a Saturday on a Sunday. That's terrible. I don't even know what that means. That ain't gonna happen. Or is that dreaming of the past? That's an interesting phrase. I've never heard that ever before in my life. Buck McCaffrey, what's the motherfucking deal? Oh, the bootleg Jeff Saturday. But what's going on, right? Have y'all been seeing that every day? It seems like another place is saying we're going to get lax on these laws. We're not going to get out there. And I think three cops here in Houston actually have tested positive for the coronavirus. So there's that. And I wouldn't be surprised if Houston puts out some type of announcement or leaks something like that soon, because you actually have cases here of positive tests. But the cops out in Philly, they put that out a week or so ago. They're not going to do shit. New York has already been very lax on letting criminals out, but I heard they're actually supposed to let a few hundred criminals out. I heard Harris County is actually supposed to be letting a few hundred out of the lesser tier, nonviolent, I guess, situations. We're just going to put them out on a PR bond. So they'll never fucking come back. And then, like I said, we talked about in Cali, I want to say San Fran it was, that they had put out something that they weren't, this was before the whole corona thing was really blowing up, but they were no longer pressing, or no longer to pursue crimes, I think, under $300. And I was telling y'all about that, how they They saw people running in the stores like the CVS's and the Walgreens and just wiping them out, um, and wiping out the makeup and shit, right? And what can they do? They can just sit there and stand there, and that's it. Oh man, no, that would be crazy. That's what I heard. What's up, prepaid? What's up, 335? But yeah, everybody been talking about Boosie. Right. Everybody been talking about Boosie shit, man. He said he was on there talking about put some threes in the chat if y'all. He said he gonna start pimping or something because they closed one of their stores or something like that. And then he told the hoes to put the three in the chat if they wanted to hoe for him or something. He said it was a bunch of threes. One of them say shit, hoeing the best thing going, man. Somebody gonna pull up deliveries. See, my dad's talking to one of the city of Houston friend. They said the shelter in place is coming soon. Yeah, that's what I'm telling y'all, man. I don't believe nothing Sylvester Turner say. I'm telling y'all, like, when Sylvester Turner gave Cardi B a day in Houston for performing at the like, I was done with that nigga. I wasn't really riding with him before then, but I was done with that. I was like, yeah, me and you can never be friends, Sylvester. We're suffering succotash. This is terrible. But with these laws getting lax, with these shout out to Eastside, with these laws getting lax, and people are already, poorly planning, and if things do get hectic, if things do, certain terminologies put fear in people, certain other people are going to get a little bold. They're going to get a little brazen. You know what I'm saying? And they are going to, they're going to start doing things. If they feel like, oh, the cops ain't doing this and they ain't doing that, I think people start to, they'll try to push it. Because niggas are already pushing it. But I think you'll have people trying to push it a little bit more. Now, down here in the great state of Texas, well, that's a roll of the dice. You know what I mean? You can try to do that if you want to. I don't think that's going to fare very well for too many people. You know what I'm saying? Small rich. I don't think that's going to fare well for a lot of people. Because down here, you can't get away with lighting up a church and you think you're going to get away with it and you get laid down. People are very apt to protect their homes around here in this great state. Very Second Amendment friendly, if you will. So I want to know what your thoughts are. Because like I said, I've been talking for way too long, so I'm going to get the lines open and I'm going to, just, I'm crazy. And I'm going to take some calls here. And I want to know what you guys are thinking. And I don't know what's on your mind. And, man, I just, do you think that something is going to happen? Do you think that something is going to shake? And the reason why I say this is because, I was just hanging out with some of those types about a month ago. Yeah, that's almost about a month. I would say 23rd. Yeah, about a month ago. So, yeah, about a month ago, and so in Walmart today said, white man dropped a person. Self-checkout. Anita fell out. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Okay, that's what I'm saying. Look, ain't nobody playing. It's going down. Like, people are, what the fuck is going on? People are panicking. They tense. That's what I was looking at. Oh, white man fell out. Like, oh, prepaid. Don't tell me you fuck with the pronouns now. Don't tell me you following the pronoun rules now. But man, yeah, that's what I'm saying. People are tense. People are nervous. They seeing all these people. And here's the thing. Like, it hasn't been Black Friday panic, but it has still been. People are nervous and they're afraid, and people are talking crazy and saying they're gonna do crazy stuff. So, I know down here people are strapped. I don't know how it is everywhere else. I don't know how it is in some of the more liberal areas, but I want to know what y'all think. Do you think it's going to be? Do you think things are going to get worse? And I'm not even talking about just from the sickness. I mean, that's going to spread. But do you think that the behavior of people in society they're going to? Do you think people are going to get worse? Human nature, if we'll talk about that, I guess we could say. But give me just a second. And immigration to regulate the call. I don't want to do. Well, anytime I ain't had a bot on. I'm surprised. Sweetberry ain't charged nobody up yet. Yeah, I think that. But what I saw that they said they just had 100 casualties, I think, in a day in the U.S. or something like that. Like the worst, are we up to like 500 or something like that? I don't know what I saw. I might have saw it wrong. I briefly glimpsed at the news, and like I said, last time I checked, it was like, it was like 2 and some change, and then you know, let's see where we are now. Give me one moment while I excuse me while I kiss the sky. All right, I'm gonna put everything. The body's on. I ain't gonna put y'all on the whole screen. I just got to do something that's gonna take me like 30 seconds. So I'm gonna put this little weird image up so y'all know I'm coming right back. People, because when I put the whole screen on, people tend to jump like, "This nigga's gonna be gone. He went took a leak or some shit." And did I not change that? Let's see. Let me put the weird honcho behind me. And yeah, let me pause that while I'm speaking. I could have swore I changed that. I gotta change it back. Maybe I didn't change it back. I mean, I click the same shit. Sometimes we doing too much. But that does look real creepy, right? That looks real creepy. To 85% of deaths in New York, Cali, and Washington. Huh, what do those places have in common? That's weird. That's really weird. And if you want to talk about the stimulus situation too, because I know a lot of people have had some thoughts on that also. But like I said, give me just a second. I'm gonna get the line open. I gotta do something that's gonna take me. It's gonna take me maybe like 30, 45 seconds. So I'm gonna keep that on so y'all know I ain't going nowhere. And keep the line open. All right, I apologize for that. I thought I had my cup. I need to get some water. I thought I had my cup prepared, but apparently I put it in the sink and I wasn't going to wash it, so I had to get another one. But let's get into it, man. Let's get some good calls. I know I've been rambling. Man. And let's get it in. But yes, for those of you who did not catch it earlier, we will be day dens and night den. But I think I went at 1 today, but I'm thinking maybe 12. Y'all let me know. And I'm talking Central Time. I don't know what other crazy time zones y'all are in. Central is the only time zone that exists to me. Wherever y'all at, it just assimilates to, whatever's going on in the Central Time zone. That's the way I look at it. But, cool. So, What is this? Broderick Brooks Sr. What has happened? What is going on now? What is happening? What is with the name change? Broderick changed name when he changed draws. Used to be Sir some House Brooks. Got another name too. Be for real. Now it's Broderick Brooks Sr. I want to say it was one more that was in there somewhere. Did you have to change it for an email or something like that? I know somebody said when you have certain names that it shows up in emails like this. So if you're trying to send a business email, it comes out a certain way. Like, no, I don't want to hear shit about the cup. I don't want to hear nothing. Yeah, it was a very okay. That's what I thought. It was a very interesting den. Very interesting den earlier. Miss Yasmin called in. Look, y'all remember, y'all know Yasmin. Some of y'all, you've been around, you've known Yasmin. Yasmin has said some very interesting things in this den. She said men should wear super tight pants so that you could see their property. She has also threatened to sexually assault men with violent things. Her and Rashida had co-signed some kind of crazy plan. Come on, don't start with the nonsense. Why is it log out and log back in? Probably, but I think I just logged in, so I'm not tripping. Bitch, I'm gonna say it on here. Yeah, I keep multiple emails for various reasons, so I keep an email for every purpose. So I got like 8 or 9 Gmail accounts. I got one I don't even remember fucking anymore. I hope it wasn't nothing important in them. But yeah. But today she called in and she said something about, what are you talking about? Login fail. I don't even know my own damn passwords. This is shit that gets on my nerve. I need that fucking dash lane or something, whatever that shit is called. The fucking. That's probably not it either. I don't fucking know what it is. Son of a bitch. Hold on. Alright, hold on 1 second. Why the fuck is this shit taking so long? What is going on? I don't even know my password. This is terrible. How did I just log in? How did I log in right before I put the little thing on hold? Because I don't remember the fucking password for shit now. I know it's... I ain't looking up nothing. Conjugal visits. Sticky, what's the motherfucking deal, man? What's going on with you? Till the volume is a little low. Let me turn it up a little bit. Y'all gotta give me a second. I don't know. Like I said, because usually I have it in the Firefox browser, but the Firefox browser wasn't loading up for a little bit, and like, a lot of Google was doing me fine. Give me a second. I gotta do stuff. And, you know, I can't lie. I've gotten lazy. I'm not gonna act like I'm not. Where's the shit at? Show me the fucking password. Oh, duh. That's it. That's it. I'm a fucking idiot. I know I said I gotta be careful about the self-talk. Even if you don't really mean it, you can't say negative stuff to yourself. You don't have to be positive. You just don't be negative. And apparently that's supposed to be a thing. All right, we should be good here. This is the password. If this shit logs in, for whatever reason, shit is taking its sweet fucking time. But again, I'm glad that I'm thinking about it. I need to cancel this fucking service. I need to, because I have it like, you know, already sticky, man. I hope everything goes as planned. The fuck, this shit ain't logging in. Like, come on, man. This fucking service fucking sucks, though. Yeah, and because I'm still mad, because like I said, I had to argue that the customer service is terrible. Like I told they overcharged me for some shit, and they told me they put it as a fucking credit. Like, I don't even want to use this shit anymore. I damn near almost am willing to go back to Grasshopper just to deal with the fucking ringing on the stream, but you know, never had to deal with anywhere close to this level of issues. And then you could also have, you know, MMS messages, multimedia messages or whatever. This shit here is like every other day, it's something. You're talking about a fucking gateway timeout. Oh my God, it's let's see. I apologize, my good people. I apologize. No, this doesn't want to fucking pick up. It's gonna be one of them nights tonight, I guess, right? It's happening tonight. We're just gonna do it. We're gonna have a struggle stream tonight. That's what's happening. Okay, so you're doing that, but I don't want to fucking use that as my fucking microphone. That's what's pissing me off. I don't know why would it choose that to be my fucking microphone when that's not my input device. I don't. I gotta set all this fucking stupid shit manually. This is fucking bullshit. I apologize. Then it's making a noise. What's the motherfucking deal? Who we got calling in to the Denline this evening?
Hey, Honcho, can you hear me?
I can hear you now. Can you hear me?
Yeah, it's Dan, man.
Okay, cool. I had to switch it up. It's acting fucking crazy. Okay, cool. Dan the man, what's the motherfucking deal, man? How is life treating you? And are you prepared for a purge if such actions were to ever take place?
Well, I don't think anyone would be really prepared because, like the purge in the movies was set up by the government to get rid of poor people and a bunch of insurance companies, all this other shit. Like the purge, that might be happening now is just motherfuckers acting crazy. That's it. And you know, people are gonna take advantage of this sort of crisis. This will truly show human nature. You know, I'm in Virginia right now, and you see a lot of people wearing the masks and stuff, and you know, got the rubber gloves on all the time. But generally, it's still business as usual. Except a lot of schools are closed down. I know my university went to online only for the rest of the semester, which was kind of cool at first. But I'm like, damn, man, if I want to ask a question, it'd be harder to get an email. But you know, it removes like that immediate response to questions you might have about a class. But I have to adjust. I have no other option. It is what it is. My family's all right, you know. My dad and brother both work like the shipyards and stuff like that, so they're generally just still business as usual for the most part. People washing their hands more, in which they shouldn't be doing in the first place. Exactly. It's like, and that's one thing that always made me laugh. Like you go into a restaurant, whatever restaurant you see like employees wash hands before going back to your work or whatever. How about everyone wash your fucking hands? Exactly. Don't just the employees, nasty motherfuckers. But anyway. Nasty bitches. I don't know, but I don't know, man. That purge, bro. It might be a good thing, like I tipped earlier, man. But it just, I don't know, man. But I know, like, I think prepaid in the chat was like New York, D.C., and I think it was L.A. One of them countries, one of them cities. I mean, had like a lot of issues going on, and I mean, I don't know if it means it's usually a Democrat-ran city or there's a certain population of people there, but yeah, there's a correlation between all that foolishness. I don't know. People will take advantage of it, man. I mean, I heard New Orleans got a lot of shit going on, man. Like a lot of, oh yeah, I heard, yeah. I mean, I'd have to Google it, but I ain't gonna waste your time with that. But I saw some reports saying New Orleans got a lot of murders and stuff going on top of all the shit going on.
You know,
so we already know
they ain't gonna stop. New Orleans, they just gonna murder anyway. What was it a while back? I think the school principal got in an argument over a sports game or something. They killed him. So you know, New Orleans people, they just gonna kill. They gonna party and they gonna kill. That's what they do in New Orleans.
It's and you have to separate. Like you say, like I done say, like Prepaid done say, like a lot of other people done said. You gotta separate, man. And Prepaid said, "Get the AR ready." Okay, there you go, bro. Get it popping. Prepaid, you gotta protect them. You got a pregnant wife, man. You gotta protect that, man. Shit. Yeah, that's what's up. Respect to them registered firearm owners. You know, even if you aren't. I mean, like I don't know. If you're just using it to protect your family, I would understand that. But a lot of dudes out here, man, they're doing bad out here, bro. But there's one other thing I wanted to get at about this whole coronavirus issue. It started becoming this little trending topic about how it's racist to mention where it came from.
Yes.
That's bullshit. That is such bullshit. It came from Wuhan, China, right? Because these wet markets where they have all sorts of animals with each other and you know, lying on top of each other, all sick and dirty, and people eating that shit.
Yeah.
Just straight up. So how is that racist to admit where it came from? And, you know, of course, when Trump says it, it's the most racist thing ever.
Exactly.
But, you know, and that's bullshit. Trump said this. He said it's a virus from China. Yeah, that's what he said. And it is. And they'd be like, how can you say that? Because it's the truth, motherfucker.
Exactly. What's the funniest name that you've heard? You know, because people have come up with a lot of variations for this virus. What's the best one that you've heard in your opinion?
I heard one. I mean, like in terms of names and stuff.
Yeah.
Well, I know YouTube is like tripping over, like, you know, naming certain things that because Google owns them, and Google is a shill for the Democratic Party and all those bullshit ass liberals and dirty ass San Francisco, just like Twitter.
Yes.
That's why I'm fucking that shit. But I know one dude, he named it the Modelo virus, so he didn't get flagged on his channel.
Was it what was it, Mr. Ripper or Eric July? I think his name is.
Yeah, Mr. Ripper. Yeah. That dude, he be going in, bro. You got the comic book game on lock, bro. Yeah, Modelo virus. I thought that shit was genius. Yeah, a lot of stuff, man. Shoot, I know it's bullshit the way they're holding that bill, the Democrats, man. I think what some of them might want is for like them to hold it, but it falls on Trump, and he looks so bad he doesn't pass in you know, the election later this year. No. I think that's what some of them might be hoping for, because one of them was quoted as. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
No, that's what I agree, because that's what I think too. Because you know, most of the American public are going to look at it like, well, Trump said, you know, checks were coming, and now they're not coming, and it's easy to put the blame on him for that. But I definitely think that's the move.
Yeah, because I think one of the Democratic staffers was quoted as saying, and I was watching the video before I got the notification about your live stream, that what we do will change the course of this world, like in terms of like holding a bill and spending their own bill and all this other shit. And like that's something a supervillain would say in the Bible. Yeah. Like that's insane, bro. Like people, bro, man.
But yeah, but you know,
that Pelosi, bro.
They're not hurting. They, you know, it's not impacting. They're still gonna get paid. That's what needs to happen. Is their checks need to be held up. You know, they need to, you know, go without getting a little money. Even with that, they'll still be all right. But you know, it doesn't matter to them. You know, again, they going on recession. They taking breaks. They don't care. It's like they're so disconnected. You know, they pop on TV screen, tell you, oh yeah, we're doing this for you. We're doing this for you. And behind the scenes, you know, I mean, you're nothing but we're nothing but numbers. You know, again, like they don't really care. So. If they did, the shit would have been resolved already.
Now, here's one thing, though. Now, all the Republicans are on vacation. They came back immediately to the House and the Senate to get that bill passed. That's like an immediate thing that, you know, Trump put out the little Republican beacon. Them niggas came running. Excuse my language. You know? Yeah. But the Democrats said, man, fuck them niggas.
Straight up.
And that's what it is right there, bro. I mean, yeah, I don't know. So I'll give the Republican Party credit for that. But speaking of Democrats, and this is a unrelated subject, but man, Florida looking bad right now, bro. Andrew Gillum. Dog.
Oh, man.
Dog. Oh, man. That I saw some of the pictures, bro. It's the sheets were stained. This man laid out like he was at a frat party, bro. I don't know what to say about that, bro.
But he was just leaving a wedding. That's all. That shit is wild, man.
When at 1 in the morning on a Thursday, my G, in March. Okay, if they say so.
Oh my God, that shit there, yeah. And again, like I said, you know, who has to be most embarrassed has to be like his wife and kids. Well, the kids they probably still but the wife has to.
Yeah.
But again, she might know. You know, who knows? You know, she might have. You know, that old House of Cards, political power type shit. She might be with the shits. You know what I'm saying? Who knows? I have no idea.
They met in college.
No.
So she might be well aware of this man's amorous nighttime activities. But she probably, if she did know, she probably said one thing: "Don't let this shit go public."
Yeah, pretty much.
And that's what happened.
Yep.
That's what happened.
It definitely did. That's terrible.
Man.
That's terrible.
Yeah, bro.
What y'all saying?
Oh, God.
I don't even think about that shit. But yeah, man, like I say, you know, that's my thing. and that's my part of my deal with, you know, like I say with the left is that where are, you know, the straight black male representatives? Because, you know, who represents me? Who represents you? Who represents Prepaid? Who represents Broderick? You know, when it comes down to it, who on the left represents that? And, you know, Trill don't want nobody to represent. That's why I ain't say Trill. Y'all like, well, what about Trill? Trill don't want nobody, none of the politicians represent him. But who stands for us in our needs in a society where being masculine, being black male, these things are deteriorating and it's no longer valued by the family's no longer valued. You don't really want to be the male to be the head of the house. So like, where are our values within the Democratic Party? And so that's kind of my thing. You know, every black male that you see is questionable at best. We all know Booker and T-Bone and everything else with that. Like, it's just, they're always questionable. Ones that they push to the forefront, you know, there's always some type of questions or flaws that you that you have to ask about. So,
Mr. Honcho, how dare you? We've had amazing Democratic black representatives and mayors and anyone. And I'll give you 3 great examples. We had the Honorable Marion Barry. You know, in the hotel room.
He did it for Giller, but at least he kept it along the right lines.
We had the youngest black mayor in Detroit, Michigan, Kwame Kilpatrick. You know, if you don't know, that man is sitting in prison right now for all sorts of shit. So I'm just gonna stop the sarcasm in case nobody knows about Kwame Kilpatrick. It's real shit. My dad's from Detroit. I was looking into that story. It is sad how much money he was robbing the city blind, bro.
Yeah.
And then we had the decade-serving senator, Elijah Cummings. Ooh. Oh, man. God rest his dead, baby. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
Rest in peace. Yeah, he was an amazing orator and politician. He did so much for the people of Baltimore. Lived next to rats and murders every fucking 20 minutes. It's a damn shame he's dead.
It's a terrible situation. Terrible situation. You hate
all right. I'm going to hell for that last one. I apologize. Okay.
But is it wrong if you're telling the truth though? That's the thing. So as long as you you know, being honest about it, I don't think that there's anything wrong with that. So I got a quick question though. Have you know, with all this corona talk going on, do you know anybody personally that has, you know, contracted the corona?
No. I have 2 friends in California, and they said, you know, it's on hella lockdown right now because that's one of the biggest areas. Obviously, it's proximity to Asia. But no one I know has contracted it, so hopefully no one I know does. I mean, it is what it is.
Okay. All right. Anything else you got there that's on your mind, Mr. Dan the Man, sir?
Oh, no, man. Just y'all just wash your hands, stay safe, you know, don't go hugging everybody. And look, let me tell you something. If you're going to either be good or be good at it, don't get caught in the hotel room with the bags of meth and amyl nitrate and Viagra pills and all type and Corona. They had Coronas in there. I thought that was funny.
Oh, that's terrible. That's super.
Corona beer, not the virus, the beer, but there might be some other viruses. Who knows?
Yeah, they got a virus too, and there's some other stuff going on. That's what I say. That's oh man, like I say again. But here's the thing: they'll continue to promote him, you know, especially when you have, you know, certain groups that already, you know, we talk about fluidity. So he'll be all right. He'll land softly. You know, don't judge him for what he does. Don't discriminate, and you know again, you know, we live in a country with no shame. There's no more shame. You know, so anything you do is acceptable. So, you know,
tell that to his wife.
Exactly.
Shit.
That's crazy.
No, man, I'm just. No, man, Danielle, have a good night, Honcho. Good talking to you, man. Just y'all just be safe out there, man. That's all I ask. Yeah. Shout out to New York and Cali, all my friends in there. John from New York, stay safe, bro.
All right, Dan. As always, man, it's good to hear from you, man. You have a good evening.
All right, y'all take care.
All right, you too. Hold on 1 second. I can't change it till the next call. What's the shit? Did I reset this? What's the motherfucking deal? Who do we have calling into the den this evening?
Hey, Honcho.
Oh, Miss Bell.
Yep, second call into the night. We're almost an hour into the show.
Yes. I had to do a lot of ranting and raving this evening, so yes, I had a bunch of stuff.
Yeah, you asked if we thought it was going to get worse before it gets better. I definitely believe so. And I think I've said it over the last couple of days a couple of times. I mean, if you want to know what socialized medicine's all about, guess what? We're going through a walkthrough right now. You know, the wealthy who have it are still going to have it. The poor that don't have it aren't going to be able to get it. And doesn't show that that's much different at this point. You know, if they make the stimulus packages, great. But yeah, it's definitely going to get more intense before it gets better, because we haven't even hit the peak of the viral load yet, at least in the United States. And somebody else said that, and I don't know if it was on the news or just in conversation, that was it Wuhan, China? Yes. They have a second round going through with the coronavirus again.
Oh, word. They went and upgraded. They took it to the lab and upgraded and sent out another one. Interesting.
Yeah, a different strand. So all I know is after I get off the phone, I'm off to bed. I got to get up early in the morning, so I get to be one of those lucky elderly people that go in early.
I don't condone this elder privilege that you're receiving. I feel triggered by the fact that I don't get to benefit from it.
Kiss off, I earned it. No, I don't say that too lightly, but you know, I do have a compromised immune system right now with a respiratory infection. So, you know what? I appreciate the fact that this is going on, but I'm also taking precautions by wearing a mask. It's not like I'm walking in with privilege and not being covered up to infect anybody else either. And that's the thing, is just, you know, I remember back in the 80s when we had some winter storms that were brutal. We would wear, this was before, okay, yeah, I guess I'm showing my age, but this is before colors on bandanas were really out there as part of the gang units. We would wear bandanas over our face, like in the wintertime, just to be able to breathe through bad cold spells of snow. And today's day and age, you can't do that. You've got to find something that's neutral. But it's not a bad idea if that's all you have, is to use something cotton to breathe through.
Yeah. And that's funny because it makes me think of this meme that was floating around. And good night, Miss Grace. There's this meme that was floating around. Like, it was a report, and they were trying to teach people makeshift things that they could use to breathe with, and he had a blue bandana on, and on the meme they talking about "back to you, cuz," and that shit was hilarious. But so as far as dealing with that situation, do you feel fearful of anything? And I know, because I know you're going to protect yourself, but do you have any concerns, that like I say, with it having the impact that it's had on some of the elderly population, that you may be coming in contact with anybody like that, or do you feel as long as you protect yourself that you feel like you'll be all right?
No, but somebody did email me something about, when you go to the gas pumps, make sure you use a paper towel to put your hand on and off the gas pump. And I didn't even think about that. Because, you just go do what you got to do. I mean, gasoline being on the hand pump, I mean, you don't want that on your hands, but to pass the virus that way.
Yeah, that'd be tough. See, that's how they're going to get you. Gas is cheap as shit. Everybody pumping up gas. Oh, yeah, enjoy it. Well, I'm enjoying this cheap gas. Little do you know,
yep, and then you go wipe your nose, or you touch your face, and you're screwed.
Yeah, you are in a bad position. Yeah.
Now, the other thing, too, is that cash is actually one of the worst. It's one of the dirtiest things. So if you can put it on a plastic, like a Visa prepaid card or a MasterCard, you're not handling all kinds of money, and you can control your shopping. So it's not completely out of control because you're out of the house for, XYZ moments, and it's like, ooh, grab everything. My kids were like, grab every snack because we're going to be in here for a while. I said, no, you're going to grab what we need, and then when we need to go out again, we'll do that. But you do it as you need it, this gouging stuff, they're really taking it pretty serious, too. The gouging on the hand sanitizers and the toilet paper and everything. So, and a lot of the places have limited the tissues and all that kind of stuff. Although there was still no bread at the grocery store yesterday. So if you want bread, you got to go early.
And then here's my thing, and I guess maybe I sound like a bad guy or, whatever. I have no beef with the people who are taking advantage of the opportunity and going and, good night, Miss Jen, who are going and capitalizing on the opportunity. I have no beef with it. Maybe because I guess it hasn't impacted me, so I guess I don't really care. But again, in a situation like that, I would not, I just wouldn't buy that shit. Like, tissue, fuck you and your tissue. Wipe your own ass with that goddamn tissue. Again, there's multiple methods of fucking, being able to clean your ass, So, and it's just like, I think just we've gotten so used to the comforts of being American that the idea of doing something or having to go without such a, what is really a luxury, it blows some people's mind. They wouldn't know how to respond to that. So, it is what it is. Like, I think, if you're buying that, again, like I said, the guy that got caught and they made him turn all the stuff in, and he was saying he's putting together the bundles and things like that. Nobody had to buy any of that stuff. And I felt bad that the government intervened on the guy, because it's like he put in a lot of work to get that shit. Him and his brother said they drove over 1,300 miles, doing what they had to do. They had to be, it was a strategy. He put together a plan and spent some money. Again, like, I know he donated the stuff in the end, so people benefited off it, but that's like the risk that comes with business. So, they could have bought all that stuff. This shit blows over. They find a cure the next day, and then he's still stuck with all this shit. I mean, that's like the risk of doing business. And so I felt like he kind of got the shaft by, the government intervening and making
the other thing, too, is that karma plays a role in that, too. If you are being so indulgent, then sometimes the higher powers are going to say, well, you don't deserve it anyway, so guess what? I think that it's a little, there's a lot of different sides to that story, because you have people that need it and can't get it. And if they can't get it or it's not affordable, that's pretty messed up, too. Even though I know that we, for the most part, as Americans, we're far more privileged than a lot of third world countries, and people don't always, or we don't tend to want to remember that. I'm not saying that there aren't biases. I'm not saying that there aren't prejudice. I'm saying, though, that going to the grocery store, you have 5 different kinds of toilet paper to buy. Some countries, they hand you one roll and you got to make it last for 2 weeks. Think about all those times you went camping and there was a limited amount of different things. Yeah. And what did you have to do? You lived off the land. It's like, okay, let's hope we find some brown leaves and they're not too crispy. Or, we get some leaves and it's not poison ivy.
That'd be bad.
You just, you have to do.
That'd be terrible.
Well, that's the thing, and going camping is a very expensive way to be homeless. But on the same note, it also teaches you the fact that you can't always take the privileges that you have of indoor plumbing and hot water and electricity for granted either. And not having with this illness and depending on how much of a pandemic it becomes, or it turns into a genocide for the fact of all the deaths, how is that going to affect all the infrastructures? You know, because you have all these people making all this money in order to put it back into the communities. And we'd like to think that it was only, you know, the weaker ones that were taken away, but it isn't always that. And a shout out to Kenny Rogers, who passed away. I know that
yes.
he was a Texas guy, so that's kind of why I was doing that. And but I mean, he was a terrific songwriter.
Yes, R.I.P. too.
So, but yeah. But as far as the pandemic goes, I think that we're not even quite at the halfway mark. I just don't know what they're going to do, because most of the kids are supposed to be off until Friday, and they haven't made any decisions or talked about anybody going back to school.
Oh, word? Yeah, I know around here they've already said, you know, till at least mid-April.
Yeah. I don't know about you guys. Like I said, they haven't made any announcements here on our local community kind of thing to let us know about the kids going back to school. Mm-hmm. But it's already been 2 weeks. Yeah. And the other thing about the bread is, I had to think about it. Parents have a lot of kids home from school. Well, what do you feed kids? Peanut butter and jelly and bologna. Hello. So there's a lot of bread going away with that.
Oh, man.
Yeah, them were the days, right?
That's the terrible thing is, you know, and I guess it's just nature. What's the best way to preserve bread? Are you supposed to keep bread in the fridge?
Well, and when I lived in Florida, I did keep it in the refrigerator. Mm-hmm. When I was the only one eating a certain type of bread, I kept it in the freezer, and then I would just throw it right in the toaster, because it was just me eating a particular kind.
Because, you say you got bread, but I don't really eat bread. Yeah,
I'm not, and that's why I kept it in the freezer. I'm not a huge bread eater either.
Mm-hmm. So I guess, you know, just want to keep it just in case, you know, it gets to that point, but I don't know. Like I said, I don't necessarily consume a whole lot of bread. I say this and then I go fucking buy a burger with a fucking big bun on it or whatever. So, yeah. How is did I see people talking about the Bitcoin? I know it dropped a little bit about a week or so ago. Has it bounced back? Has it recovered? I'm interested to know what's going on with that. I have not been paying attention to it much. So, okay.
Yeah, I think that it was like they've shut the. Are you talking about the? I'm sorry, I wasn't quite hearing you. Were you talking about the stock market?
No, I'm talking about the Bitcoin.
Well, I do know this, that when it's gotten down to a certain point, they've just completely shut down all the buying and selling. They don't let it go below like 7% on a drop, and then they'll shut it down for the whole day, and then allow it to come back up on the next day. So I think that's what they're trying to do to prevent a crash.
I say it's that stock market game. I'm just fucking. I can't remember. I think it was Big M posted a fucking meme and that motherfucker. That's
I didn't see that, but all I know is the stock market is the most legal form of gambling with the highest stakes possible.
But hey, I mean, like I say, you do a little research, I think you can win. I think your odds are better if you just got a little bit of timing and
that's true.
A little bit of patience. You know, I think it's much different.
Yeah.
Pulling that lever, you just fuck out of luck.
I didn't day trade stocks, but I had once at a point in my life I did a lot of stock trades, and you do have to look up the history of the companies. You have to know which companies are going to go long term and which ones are ready to fizzle out, and which ones that you want to, you know, stay in for the long run, and which ones you're going to just be in for a hot minute. So there's a lot of education to that kind of stuff. And it really does tell you kind of where the economy of the country is going by knowing the stock market. It's a good predictor. I shouldn't say it's perfect because nothing is. However, it definitely gives you a good idea. I don't know. This is kind of one of those nights where I don't really have a whole lot to say. And I think I'm going to let you go and get to hear from a few other people before you get off for the night. And hey, that den today was pretty cool.
Yeah, like I said, I'm gonna try to like I say, this while the pandemic is going on, and as long as I have some time, I definitely intend to try to keep the day dens going, and you know, just I think just to, if it helps people, you know, because I didn't know it helps me when we all get together and have some great some great feedback with one another. So hopefully it helps other people. Then, you know, can pass a couple of hours, then, you know, we'll definitely make that shake. So I expect it tomorrow. Like I said, it may be an hour earlier tomorrow. And then when it 1 my time today, so I'm thinking maybe noon. I'm gonna see which hour suits best for most people, but we'll definitely see.
Well, it gives some normalcy, and it gives a sense of those who aren't used to being cabin fevered in at their homes to be able to feel like they have a little way out of the home.
Yeah. I do. I think so too. And I think it helps. You know, people know what's going on around the country. Like I said, just it's multi-layered communication. You know, with each other, and everybody can hear other people's stories and things like that and their experiences. So, like I said, I think it's a plus for everybody.
Absolutely. All right, Honcho. You have a good night, and I will talk later.
All right, Ms. Bell, you get you some rest. Like I said, hope everything goes smooth tomorrow, and we'll hope to hear from you soon.
All right. Good night.
Good night. All right. Let me see if I can. I gotta fix this goddamn thing.
Understand this game?
What's the motherfucking deal? Who do we have calling into the den this evening?
It's your boy Chill here.
Chill, what's the motherfucking deal, man? How are you this evening, sir?
I'm doing alright. How about yourself?
No complaints, man. Life is good. I don't know. Should I be saying that right now? I mean, I believe it, so I guess it's okay to say it, even though people are panicking
it's a bit debatable.
Okay, but so what's going on in your world, Mr. Chill? How do you feel if there would be a purge? Would you be prepared for something like that? And just what's going on in the world that's caught your attention?
Well, I mean, I got a shotgun in my closet, so I'm ready for anything. So, that's what I mean. If someone tries to break into the house, and you know, I'm protecting my property and protecting my family, no matter what.
Okay.
That's what. I mean, you know, thank God for the Second Amendment. So, you know. But if everything went into lockdown, though, I mean, I wouldn't necessarily be kept home because they're probably going to do this thing with the whole essential employees. And I told you before that I am a pizza delivery driver, so I qualify as a essential employee. So I don't know, but I don't know how that's going to work. I mean, I hope and I don't think that there would be I don't hope there would. I hope there will not be a lockdown that would, you know, cause all this, cause some criminals to be released. I mean, if they're gonna release all the non-violent ones, like instead of like the violent ones, like the non-violent offenders, like, oh, they got in trouble for shoplifting or tax fraud or whatever. I mean, yeah, I guess I'm fine with that. Are they gonna probably get them back? Probably not. That's gonna be a complicated process.
Well, what do you think? They had a guy here in Harris County who was out. It was I think he was on a murder charge. Got let out on a PR bond because he told the judge he was afraid of getting the corona. It was actually, I would say, it was in the Chronicle the other day, about 2 days ago.
And I guess he lied about that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I haven't heard about that. It's crazy.
Yeah.
I mean, are they gonna try to are they trying to find him, try to get him back, or they're just letting him go out?
I think they just put the news out there that they allowed it. I don't think he's committed another crime. So even if he's out, I mean, it's by the judge's permission. I don't think they really have anything on him to necessarily go get him back unless he does something or he violates something of that nature. So Frankie, what's the motherfucking deal? So right now, I think he's actually in the clear. So
He must be like the luckiest son of a bitch.
Yeah, that's what I think. That's crazy shit. Crazy shit.
I mean, since like California is on lockdown too, and like crime it's basically become lawless almost. There was this video of a pair of, I don't know if it was a pair of people or three people, just walked into some grocery store and just started stealing all this shit, and they just ran out of the store. Like, no problem at all. And I mean, first of all, they're dumbasses because they weren't wearing masks, so you can obviously see their faces. But the thing is, that don't matter because police aren't going to get them.
Exactly. That's the crazy part about it. Like, you know, and people are not going to give a shit. You know, if they don't give a shit already with laws in place, when you, like I say, remove punishment for certain behaviors, they're really not going to give a shit. You know what I'm saying? So that's the... They're really not going to give a shit. They're really not going to give a fuck. And people are going to, you know, they're going to do whatever the fuck they want to do. And I don't know why people don't understand that, because you have people who are constantly trying to defend them and say, well, you know, if it's not violent, it's not this, it shouldn't happen anyway. And these are going to be the same people who are going to complain when they no longer have employment because their fucking job can't afford to keep them because they're not making any profits. Everybody's fucking stealing everything, you know. So it is kind of what it is.
One of my coworkers, she used to work at a Spring Creek barbecue, and she was saying how they told everyone to like go home, and they basically fired everyone, and they're basically rebuilding their staff from scratch.
Oh, terrible.
And I mean, she told me that they rehired some people, but I think that's what's going on right now with a lot of companies, is that they're basically rebuilding from the ground up when it comes to all this happening. It's terrible. I really wish that didn't happen, but what can you really do, I guess?
I agree. You know, and again, but like I say, you know, how do you think this is going to have the ultimate impact it's going to have on small business, you know, in the long run? Because I know it can be difficult with, maybe not frequenting as much.
Well, there was that bill that you know, that Congress tried to put forth that would have gave every working American $2,000 to, like, you know, obviously that won't get someone far, but it's at least something. It's at least something that would help the economy get started again, like get going. That's the same shit that Obama did back in 2009, and but Nancy Pelosi and Chuck Schumer rejected it. I swear, I think she's a witch. Honestly, I think she's some sort of witch. It's just, she has that evil look on her face sometimes.
Well, it's called a hangover.
Yeah. But I mean, all in all, I just really hope that things just pass by, get back to the way it is. And also one other thing, I hate how the media is pulling out there are now this total number of cases, but then you look at the statistics, they're looking at the total number of cases that have happened over this time. They'll say the total number of cases have now gone past 350,000. It makes it sound like that they're active, while in reality there are only like 100,000 cases that are active right now. And that's that kind of wording that I think they need to be careful with saying, because then that causes panic, and now this panic is now turning into this. And I said this like a few weeks ago, that panic is going to absolutely make things much worse than the virus if panic starts becoming a common thing.
Correct.
And anyway, that's really
on the media thing. But like I say, you know, we've talked about it. You know, it's the media's job to make hype. The media is loving this right now. You know what I'm saying? They're loving it because right now, you know, again, especially a lot of the left-wing media, because they were running out of things to talk about. They were running out of attention. You know, like I said, outside of the Kobe thing, they really had nothing going on. And then the Corona shit hits, and you can kind of, like I say, you can put it all, well, it's Trump's fault, even though it happened in China, and you can gauge the response however you want to because of what's been going on. You can love it or hate it. And I can't fault anybody if they feel whatever way about that. But what is happening now is that the man has been active. You know, they've gotten a task force together, and everything's going on. Even if it had been something different, I still don't think it stops the spread shit because people fail to account for how stupid Americans are. You know what I'm saying? Just as a whole. And again, I'm not saying that y'all are in the dinner, but it's just like as a whole, we know that the American people are dumb. So even if it would have been, you know, a few little isolated cases here and there, and then I still think it would have still had the same impact because people would have done dumb shit. And people would have got on planes knowing that they had it like they've done. Like it happened, the same thing with the ship. So I think it still would have spread. I don't think you stop anything. I think it is what it is. So, but I think just being, you know, prepared to handle it may have happened a little bit different. But I still think, but it's going to do whatever damage it's going to do. I don't think that's going to change whether you had known about it or not because of human behavior. You know, I think it was going to spread. So, you know, my thing is just that the media is loving it, and they, like you said, with the false, or not that it's necessarily false, but the way that these things are phrased, so that, you know, you can incite more fear, make people more afraid. So they keep watching, they keep looking for news, they keep, you know, doing this. But yet, when you hear all this, and I'm still, and again, we're only what are we right now? 24 deep. I've still yet to see anybody or talk to anybody who says that they've known somebody who definitely has had the coronavirus or have come in contact. Like, you know, people have had symptoms, but yet I don't know. You know, I'm just trying to figure it out. Like, where?
Well, according to what's that website? It's World's Update. Yeah, it's worldupdate.com, I believe. And yeah, or worldometers.info. According to that, of the active cases, 95% are in mild condition, and then 5% are in serious or critical condition.
And that's what they're gonna harp on.
I feel like they don't really tell you that. They're really staying away from that kind of stat. I mean, again, it sucks that people are in serious or in critical condition, but I just wish that they put out more facts and make sure that if you say this, I mean, I think you're right, and that they feel like they're starting to have more power. People are now listening to them more, so that way they can get the news more. I just wish that they could just put out more facts that basically gives people the whole picture instead of picking out specific statistics and facts that make people scared and panic. And another thing about being in panic is that people then start becoming irrational, and they have a lapse of judgment on how to do things. Where if you're calm, you're collected, you don't have a lapse of judgment, and you start planning rationally, and you do what's right for yourself, and if you live with your family, you do what's right for them. And also, speaking of Americans being stupid, I don't know if you heard about this, but there was a couple in Kentucky that were trying to buy 252 cases, over 200, or no, hold on, my bad, over 552 cans of Mountain Dew.
What? I was hoping you were finna say something like vital. Something necessary. I thought it was gonna be some baby wipes or some fucking tissue or paper, like something disinfected, whatever. I thought it was gonna be Mountain fucking Dew.
Yeah, it says it right here on dailymail.com and other websites. Couple furious when told they're not allowed to buy 552 cans of Mountain Dew due to coronavirus rationing at Kroger store in Kentucky.
Yeah, man, that's
552. Holy shit.
That's egregious. You're gonna fucking die drinking that much fucking Mountain Dew. You're gonna be pissing fucking neon shit. You're gonna contact aliens with that shit. That is crazy. That is crazy, crazy, crazy. So, yeah, that's, fuck that. Let them have it just to see what happens.
And, they started getting pissed off. They started, yelling at the worker staff and, cussing them out and whatever, getting pissed off. And it's just, that's crazy. Like, it's crazy what people do when they're, under, pressure in situations like this. But the last thing I expect is for them to try to go buy 552 cans of Mountain Dew. Yeah. Last thing I expect.
That's super crazy. That's yeah. I mean, I don't even know. Fucking your shit green shit like that's fucking ridiculous, man. I don't know.
But anyway, Honcho, that's really all I have to say. I would love for other people to get their calls in. Love to hear other people's opinions, and again, just hope that this whole thing gets passed. And I saw that you saw my tweet, and and it is in time like these where people start appreciating everything a lot more.
Yeah.
And we shouldn't take things for granted. We should always cherish and appreciate everything we have. Like for me, my passion is sports, and now that's not happening. I mean, don't get me wrong, I appreciated the hell out of it. I cherished it, but now this whole thing's making me appreciate it more because it makes me realize how empty my life is, because I really want to watch sports right now, but I can't.
That's
the only thing I have.
Very sad.
The only thing I'm doing right now is playing MLB The Show. So
Are you a PlayStation guy?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, that's a bit. Well, Mr. Chill, man, I appreciate you calling in and informing me that people in this country are crazy for Mountain Dew. I knew it was bad, but I did not realize it was that bad. I think if you drink that much Mountain Dew, you have probably had some type of experience with methamphetamines recently. I can't even understand why you would want that much fucking Mountain Dew, and then be mad that you can't have it. So
I hate to point it out, but the couple looks obese. I'm just stating a fact.
Oh, that's a thing. I can't talk my little blood over here, but yeah, that's definitely a thing. That's terrible. That's probably the saddest thing I've heard in this whole Corona shenanigans is the fucking that's ridiculous. I don't know. I mean, they need to be they definitely need to be isolated. So
then again, they're probably not going to. Then again, it's natural selection doing its thing. They drink all that Mountain Dew, they most likely won't live very long. It's natural selection doing its thing.
Yeah, I agree. All right, that's the best, Mr. Till. Like I said, I appreciate the call, man, and it was good to hear from you. And I'll talk to you soon, man.
No problem. Y'all have a good night.
All right, you too. And no, this is not Miss Grace's cat. This is some random internet cat. I don't know. God damn it, I swear I took the ringer off. Alright, let's do it like this. What's the motherfucking deal, man? Who we got calling in to the den this evening?
Hey, it's your international reporter from Toronto.
Dre, what's the motherfucking deal, man? It's been a minute, but I'm glad you're back in it. What's going on, man? What are your thoughts? What is happening in Canada in relation to, this whole situation?
All I have to say is, in that respect, dude that was just on the phone talking about things to cherish, your freedom.
Yeah, they got y'all locked down up there?
You guys got Second Amendment? We don't. So I can't speak too loudly on what I'm going to do and not do, but You know what I'm saying?
Yes,
but yeah, as of about a minute and something ago, the province I live in, I guess for those that don't know about Canada, we have provinces, not states, basically shut down every business that's non-essential.
Yeah.
And they consider basically everything non-essential except for the fire department, police, like your 911 services, some parts of the hospital, like even regular doctor offices, not really. When public transit goes on strike and they have their issues with that and people can't get to work and everything, they have to make special laws and pass special bills to get them onto the list to force them back to work. So, I was hoping to get through to you since like last week about this, because when things started shutting down, I was actually in Buffalo.
Yeah.
And it was just strange just watching everything around the world at the same time. That's the thing. At the same damn time. Making unified announcements, doing the same damn thing.
Yeah.
Like Italy might have been out in front closing their borders. China might have been out in front making the announcement about the virus, but North America knew about it from before. Like the 19 on it is like the 19 on the COVID is 2019 year.
Yeah.
And people are thinking it's just something that came out now. The thing too is it's a bunch of multiple viruses and not even from the same strain, that even the scientists don't really know, or maybe they do know and they're just trying to keep people in the dark about it. But I was hearing that you guys are getting some stuff shut down and stuff.
Yeah, that's what I've been hearing. I've been hearing, a lot of whispers, and murmurs about a possible, shutdown. Even though the mayor keeps coming out every day, we're not shutting down, we're not doing. But again, like I said, I don't trust him. I don't trust his little intern. I don't trust him ever since he gave Cardi B a day in Houston. She has no involvement with this city whatsoever, but you give her a day just for showing up in a stripper outfit and performing at the rodeo.
And she can give you more deadly viruses than nothing.
Yeah, she probably left a couple things here in the city. That might be the real reason the rodeo shut down. But so again, like I don't have the most trust in politicians as a whole, but certain politicians I do believe are worse than others, and I don't believe it. I think that they know something. I think they're just trying to avoid. I guess too much happens, so maybe they're trying to. I don't know if they wait till the last minute or what, but it's wild. So I don't know.
You know who's not complaining about Walmart shelves being empty? Those doomsday preppers. Everybody got a crash course on that last week or the week before, whichever week it was. And people are finding out the effects right now, but those guys have been prepping since 20, 30 years ago. They're just sitting back laughing.
Yeah. So yeah, some people have been ready for quite some time. Yeah, I told you so's.
And yeah, this thing, it's gonna last a while. Like Miss Dahl was saying, it's gonna get worse. Yeah, because everything that we were thinking about before with the New World Order, the Agenda 21, the Georgia Guidestones talking about the depopulation of the planet, the whole thing about destroying the middle class. That's what this is doing right now. They have everybody focused on a virus, but nobody's looking at what liberties and freedoms are being taken away. Because a lot of it is actually going into legislature and not into just city codes. This is well, they always say something is temporary and just leave it in when they feel like it. But, like, right now it's illegal to have a birthday party for your little kid. You have a little 3-year-old, 4-year-old, even an 8-year-old, 10-year-old. They don't care about no coronavirus. They don't really know what's going on. They know the name. They know something's going on. They know they get out of school. They don't have to go. They're happy. Then all of a sudden, if it's their birthday, it's like, how come I don't got a party? How come like nobody's coming? So it's like they're getting kicked in the ass a little bit. But they're off for the rest of the semester, summer. But like the businesses that are going to suffer are like these family businesses and everything that really are the middle class businesses, because they can't afford to pay their workers and stay open. And now they're being forced to shut down, so they're not having any income. So that whole thing about killing the middle class comes right back into this, because those people are, without getting money, they're going to be just like the rest of us, not getting any money. And the thing about the government, like our government said it too, I don't believe them either, about putting out like well, our government didn't call it a stimulus package. I'm not sure exactly what the government there said, but it was about giving money to the people that were working and things like that. And just remember, politicians make all kind of promises. Every single fucking one of them make promises, and they don't follow through. So, like, a lot of people just have to keep that in mind when they're sitting there thinking about stuff. The media, they create news. They don't report it. Like, they take it to a certain extent, and I don't know. It's the whole sensationalizing of everything. Get people, like, stuck watching their channel and all that stuff. But to really find out what's going on, you always have to dig deeper and all that. Can't just take it from one source.
Yeah. I agree. You have to I mean, it's just it's a tough situation, and that's why I also agree. I think that there was going to be a greater divide in the classes when this is all said and done. And that's why I think that people need to really consider taking advantage of this test instead of, you know, plopping on their ass and watching a bunch of Netflix and all that bullshit. Like, really take the time to educate yourself, so you can be able to try to seize any possible opportunities. You know, when things do start, I don't think it'll ever go back to what we consider normal. I mean, what is normal really? Because I mean, prior to 9/11 was a normal. Then, you know, after that we adjusted to the new normal, and then now you got a situation where it's going to be a little bit different. So I think there will be a new normal. I mean, whenever we reach that, and whatever that may be, you know, people got to be ready for that. And so, you know, it's. But again, people are expecting that, you know, we're just going to clear it out. We're just going to hunker down. We're going to wait till the major wave of it passes by. I want to go back. No, it will not be like that. You know what I'm saying? It will not be like that.
Exactly. And the thing is, there's too many people that are going to be conditioned to whatever is going on at that time. So, like, now you can't have gatherings of more than 5 people or something like that. Like, first it was under 1,000, then it had to be like under 100 or something like that, then 50, and then all of a sudden, like over here now, they have this thing where you have to be 6 feet away from people.
Yeah.
That, like, that's going to stick in people's mind, and then all of a sudden, it's like when they realize what's going on, and it's time to stand up about stuff, they're going to have their minds restricted into that thinking of you can only have so much and do so much. Forget about resources that they don't have. Just when it comes to time to stand up, they're not going to be able to, because their minds are going to be crippled.
I agree. Like I say, it's a terrible situation. So what is the general vibe like that you're getting from the people of Canada? Are they concerned? Do they think it's a lot of malarkey behind it? I mean, how are they receiving, you know, the information that they're getting?
it's the same like down there. It's like you have your set of people that are listening to every word that's coming out, believing everything that's being said. You have your other people that are skeptical about things. You have your other people that don't give a damn. And you got people in the middle that are paying attention to stuff and kind of have a better idea of what's going on. But it's the same thing. It's like we might have like laws passed before what's happening in Texas, but it's going to happen. It's just like New York had it before Toronto had it, like the laws coming down. New York State had those things enforced before, like our province, Ontario, had it enforced. But it happened. And the thing is, it's the same people. When you go back in history, it's the same people on both sides of this invisible border that inhabited this place. So when it comes to reactions and stuff, you're really going to find the same thing. Like, the people that are in like the lowest populated areas, they're probably unaffected the least because they just don't have much around them and they're not used to having things around them. So they're just almost like it's another day. Like they might have to step the game up a step or two, but to like people that live in the city, it's like a whole like system shock. But
yeah, and that's the thing. It's really interesting because they say that people are really we're not supposed to. I don't want to say we're not supposed to, but naturally that people used to live in cities or groups of really no more than 150 or so people, because that's, I think, what they say, you can naturally build real, true personal relationships with that amount of people, something like that. And so, now the fact that we live in cities or areas where, you're interacting with, you interact with that many people in a schoolhouse or in a class, well, I won't say a classroom, an auditorium, where you go anywhere. So you're meeting hundreds of thousands, if not millions of people, depending on where you are. And the way things spread, the way we interact, like, it's just, everything it's crazy. And I don't know, man. Like I say, it's interesting. The thing you mentioned about that hearing that it has multiple components. That's something I heard somewhere too, and some of the things that apparently that it's involved in it. Maybe a little shocking, and so that's why I say there's been a lot of different things that I've heard about. Like I said, I'm not going to go into it because I can't confirm it necessarily, but some of the things that certain people have said are, I mean, it could be a bit alarming, but like I say, you can't really. I feel bad for anybody that has, lost somebody from it or is going to have to deal with it. But ultimately, like I say, we just have to see how it plays out, and we're going to have to just, move on. But I think the biggest thing, like you mentioned also, is about the government, how they're responding to stuff and how they're taking away liberties and freedoms, and this is an excuse to do it. But do you feel like it's an excuse to do it, or if people would behave in a certain way that government intervention wouldn't be necessary, or do you think they would have found a way to try to make it that way either way?
I don't know, because if it was just the information, well, actually, I do know, because if the governments didn't come down the way they did, like way back with the SARS epidemic, Toronto was like the second epicenter, pretty much, according to the World Health Organization, and we were pissed off at them for making that statement and putting us on a do not travel to list. That actually we were on there ahead of China when the stuff came out of China, and I think that had way more people infected and more deaths than this has. And people were just smart. Like, if you're a nasty person, you're a nasty person. This isn't really going to make you that much cleaner. Like, I don't understand how so many people were like, don't forget to wash your hands, don't forget to do this, don't forget to clean this. And it's like, what, you don't do that? Why do you have to remind people on doing stuff like this? This is like second nature. And I don't know, we had like our sections of the city where people were wearing face masks and everything. Like, I haven't really been out into the public the last week or two, so I can't really say what's going on, like, outside, but with the laws coming down and everything, it is making, I guess, people stay away and do their, I guess, in-home things more. And, I don't know, a couple of days ago it had me thinking, it's like, they found traces of, not traces, but that cell phones lead to brain cancer. Then they released findings that cell phones were creating some bone growth in people's skulls. And the term that scientists use for it is that people were developing horns.
Yeah.
And I'm saying now, with everybody being on lockdown and everything, what are people doing? Using their phones a lot, calling people, talking to people. So when things actually ease up and people can actually go to a doctor for something other than a cough, how many more cancer cases are there going to be? Because, like, laptops, using them on your lap is supposed to give you cancer down there too. You can't tell me all these tablets that are using the same waves and the same technology as phones and computers aren't passing off the same things to people. It's just not being reported.
Yeah.
Because, like, for how long have they, like, said that microwaves are bad for you? Like, the microwaves from the microwave oven are bad for you. Don't stand around the microwave when you're cooking your food or warming up your food. And then there was the whole thing about don't cook food in a microwave because of how bad it was. But people do what they do. But the thing is, now they're going to be doing it even more. So the rates of all these things, the negative effects, should be raising and possibly even spike a bit later down the road. I don't know how long it takes for all these things to kick in, but it's things people got to think about. That going to McDonald's may not have been such a bad thing versus standing in front of your microwave almost all day and sitting on your phone all day. It's starting to make McDonald's and stuff look good.
That's terrible. Anything that makes McDonald's look good is terrible.
Mm-hmm. And then the Mountain Dew thing makes them look good too. The thing is, as long as people have fresh water coming through their pipes, you really don't have to worry about anything cleanliness because that's on you. Like, I know some people have said it before, I'm just restating it, but really, that's on you. Like, if we run on toilet paper, I'm not thinking, it's like, I got the bathtub right next to me, it's like, gotta wash.
Yeah. I was say, if it gets bad enough, you just got to do what you got to do. And honestly, using the shower, the tub, or whatever, however, you're probably going to be a lot cleaner anyway. I know it's a little bit more inconvenient, but it's just something that you have to deal with, man.
Mm-hmm. And you mentioned not knowing anybody to be infected with this thing. I'm going to crush your notion on that. Last year when I went silent for a few months, I was complaining about having a respiratory illness.
Yeah.
All the signs that they're talking about for this thing, I had. Went to a doctor for it, went to 2 doctors for it, all of them coming back, you're fine, we can't see anything. Yeah. And blood tests and everything never got back to me. I guess that was one of the test cases. Because when I look back at it and what I was complaining about and everything, it's exactly what they're talking about now. So I guess from another point of view with that is that if I did have it, I'm immune now, so I don't give a damn. Anybody that was around me then, they should have had it attached to them, and they should have built up some antibodies to it. Yeah. So they, in a way, should be narcissism. Yeah, Heidi. Gotta love Heidi.
You ain't gonna love her, but
nah, I love her. Yeah, and I guess the other thing too, when you were asking about like how things were over here, is that my brother, for about the last decade and a bit, was living, I guess, on the other side of the world, like through the Middle East and Europe, because of his job. He worked with IKEA, and they used to send him to different stores worldwide to help set up and all that type of stuff. Yeah. I probably wasn't supposed to call their name, but I don't give a fuck now. If they're watching, good. Because that means more people are watching. Yeah, he just left Saturday to go back. He's living in Switzerland now. And he was talking about the amount of police we have on the street and everywhere. Like, not just Toronto, but like the Toronto area. And he's like, we're living in a police state. Yeah. We're living under martial law, just that half the laws haven't been passed yet. And the thing is, I know every year they up the amount of police that they're putting out, but like, I didn't even think it was that bad. That when you have people from other countries coming out, like coming and talking to, it gives you a completely different perspective on a lot of things. Yeah. And like, just as a person going other places in the world, you see things, you learn things, and home either looks better or it looks worse. But you just get a different sense of what life is like and what life can be like.
And like I say, you know, I just look at it, and it is what it is. You know, life is it's a gamble every day you get up. You know, if you get up and you get out on the road, or anything you do is a gamble. You never know what's going to happen. And so, but I get it. I understand the panic, but I think I've come to terms with my mortality a while back. So I guess maybe that's why it's more, you know, humorous than anything. You know, you got to just laugh at it. I mean, if it's going to happen, it's going to happen. If not, you know, it doesn't. Right. You can play it in your favor, but ultimately, man, like if I'm going to clock out tomorrow, I'd rather have known I spent the last few hours or whatever, you know, laughing and enjoying instead of being worried and panicking and stressing and you know.
I agree with you completely.
So that's just kind of how I look at it. So, you know, and so it's just like, again, I get it. I know there's a lot of people getting mad. Well, you guys are making memes and posting funny jokes about it. You should be ashamed of yourself. No, I'm not. You know, people make jokes about everything. I laugh at fucking AIDS jokes, cancer jokes. I'm going to laugh at racist. I'm going to laugh at everything, because there's no point in just, look, we're all finite here. You know, one day you're going to climb. The funny thing about life, nobody makes it out alive. So taking the shit too seriously, you know, it is what it is. Nobody wants to suffer. Nobody wants to do all those things. But ultimately, you know, just sitting here and just being in fear it's helping nobody.
And like you're saying, like nobody wants to go through pain and all that. But the thing is, when you go through it, you appreciate what you had, yeah. But at the same time, I don't know, you just realize more about life, and you actually take a lot of things more meaningful during that and everything. Like, for me, that's a different show altogether. But like, other than being, I guess, averagely good to people, like, enjoy yourself. Like, everybody should be enjoying themselves as long as it's not causing damage to somebody else. Enjoy whatever life you got. Like, you might have a lot, you might not have a lot. Learn to find a way to enjoy it.
Correct.
Because there's other people, like, saying, look around the world. There's other people, like, in poor places that they're enjoying themselves. They're having fun.
Yeah.
There's other people in rich places that are having fun. And then the people in the middle that either don't know how to have fun or just scared about everything.
Yeah.
And it's not a way to live.
Yeah, I don't think so either. Yeah, you're definitely not living. If you're in fear of everything, if you are, just, letting the little things, if you're overly concerned with the materialistic, if you're in fear of, like I say, just death at every corner, every turn, you're not really living. So, shit, you might as well embrace the shit if you're not living, if you're not taking full advantage of the opportunities that you have as a human being, especially depending, like you said, on what country you're in. And especially, I know here in America and the U.S., you got so many rights. Like you said, you got freedoms and rights that you don't have in the neighbors next door. Or, Mexico doesn't have, Canada doesn't have. But you have so many people here complaining about everything just because, they don't want to do this or do that, to benefit from those rights. And they want to tear it all down. They want to burn it all down. So, it's really ridiculous. So again, if people just appreciate the plus side instead of looking at everybody else and seeing what they feel like they're lacking, then maybe we'd have something different going on. But we're here right now. So.
Yeah, and I don't know, the news doesn't really help. And then, like, I was hearing this other thing about it wasn't just Miss Bell that said it. Like, I've heard about it before. I just said her name now just because she said it earlier on the show about using plastic over cash. That's a trap. Cash has been dirty since we were born, all of us. That now, nothing's going to change how dirty it is. They're like, well, they say they don't know how this virus is spread, but I'm pretty sure it's one of those airborne type of things. So just being on the surface of a $2 bill or a $1 bill or whatever, or a $20 bill, that ain't gonna make no difference. And what it will do is help out the credit card companies, help out the banks when you go to plastic. Because especially when they're trying to tell you to stay home, don't go out, and people have to pay bills and they can't get work and they got to put like gas in the car or whatever, buy groceries. Like, plastic's the last thing you got to go to. Use that cash first.
Yeah. I don't know, to me, like I said, plastic's just as bad. You touch on them same little dirty buttons as everybody else.
Because the thing is, when you swipe it or shove it in a slot or something, there's other cards that went through there already. So other cards that other people were touching that you didn't want to touch because of the bills and stuff, they still have that stuff going through those swipers. Yeah, exactly. So what you think you're avoiding, you're not really avoiding.
Correct.
Like,
Mr. Dre, so like say to cut you short, but like I said, we reached about that time. I'm finna get ready to wind it down.
Right.
But man, like I said, I just wanted to chop it up with you because it's been a minute, and again, it's good to hear from you, and to get that international perspective on what's been going on. So man, I'm glad you were able to call in and get through tonight. And like I say, just kind of give us an insight from a different angle this evening.
And I still got to talk to you too, because I didn't forget about that other thing that I was talking to you about.
Okay.
So when you get a chance, yeah. give me a text or something, and I'll give you a shout.
Okay.
Cartier White donated $2
right.
through Super Chat.
Okay.
Den folks be safe,
Have a good
so
night.
we all can meet one day.
Bye.
All right, Miss Cartier, I appreciate the love. Yes, so we can all meet one day. That's on lockdown. Yeah, I've been hearing rumors of things of the of Houston possibly being on lock. Look, can't lock me down, player. I just got out. I ain't going back. But all bullshit to the side, man. It is what it is. You know, y'all just reelected this motherfucker. If Houston go on lock, you know what I'm saying? If Houston goes on lock, then you know, that motherfucker told y'all all this time we wasn't finna go on lockdown. We wasn't finna go on lockdown. We wasn't finna go on lockdown, and then he does it again. That's what I say. That's my whole thing. So don't lie about the shit. I ain't really tripping though. Like I said, I don't really care. It's not a big deal. You know, trust me. Survival is not an issue. That's not a problem. Oh snap! But again, I just want y'all to be out there to be safe. I want y'all to have, you know, hopefully things are wherever you may be. I mean, y'all may be in a different situation than what's going on in Houston. And again, like I said, I hope everything is working well for you wherever you are currently located. So I want to thank everybody who called in this evening. I appreciate all of it. Was those not? Oh, that's what was happening. They weren't even showing up. My bad. Okay, but appreciate the love from Miss Carter and Mr. Dan Strong this evening. I didn't have the little event thing show up, so it didn't show. It wasn't. Usually it sits right there in the corner. Being little babies. That's how I imagine Heidi saying that. Stop being little babies. But with that being said, man, I appreciate all of y'all. A little tired this evening, but we'll be back at it tomorrow. We'll have a date in tomorrow. I'm thinking noonish. I'm thinking noonish tomorrow, and instead of 1, because it was 1 p.m. today. So whatever you're at in the world, I'm thinking noonish tomorrow. Like I said, we'll try to shoot date ends. For those of you who rock with the sauce, there will not be any sauce tomorrow. And like I said, looking like on Tuesdays and Tuesdays, because you know Heidi is a grammar Nazi. On Tuesdays and Thursdays, even though she doesn't speak English, on Tuesdays and Thursdays, like I said, I'll be doing some studying. I'll be taking some lessons for the next few weeks. So again, yeah, this doesn't impact the den. This just is for those of you who fuck with the sauce. So definitely won't be any sauce, even though it's supposed to be Sauce Sports TV days. So it may be some switching around going on, because I'm gonna be honest. I know people want draft talking. I get annoyed talking about the Texans. You start talking about the Texans, you gotta talk about Bill O'Brien. He's a fucking piece of shit. I don't even want to talk about it. I'm mad at myself. I'm gonna ban myself for 24 hours. With that being said, man, I'm trying to do is make sure you're following on all the proper social medias. Okay, so if you don't know, now you know. Well, you know, just shortly. If you don't know, now you know. Ed Honcho HTX on the Twitters, the Gram. I've been posting some humorous things on the Gram now, so you know you can follow. It ain't just pure plug. Then show live, right there. Then show live on the Facebook. All the links in the description below. You know what I'm saying? That is terrible. That is terrible. Also, man, Frankie has the funniest page. Just super funny. But yeah, I've seen it. But again, like I said, man, this stuff we told y'all before all this stuff came out. We told y'all last year or so. Only thing I can't say, nobody saw the D-Hop thing coming. But I said, don't be surprised if Watson don't be here. Don't be surprised when we talked about it. I don't want to talk about it. Fuck all this shit. But we'll talk about it one day. Again, it's some of these motherfuckers that y'all support and follow and listen. If y'all don't see that motherfuckers have an agenda and they make no sense, that's fine. It is what it is. But it's some people in this city when it comes to talking sports. I guess they're thinking the team is gonna like them, but you can tell. Maybe the team will like him. Maybe he'll give me a job if I continue to ride their nuts, even though they make terrible decisions. And fuck the Texans. I don't give a fuck what they think about me. I don't want to fucking be a part of the organization. I just want to talk shit about my favorite team. Like, I would never want to be a part of the Texans organization unless I own the fucking team, because they're terrible. Their social media is terrible. They're fucking, everything they do is base. It's the most generic fucking, and it pains me to say this. Once I took the rose-colored glasses off, even prior to D-Hop, and I just really look at this organization. I'm like, wow, I'm in love with the most basic of basic bitches. The Texas organization is trash. Like, Texas organization has no personality. Doesn't even look that good. It's just, it's terrible. Fucking slogans are terrible. I know y'all don't want to talk about this. It's fucking not Texans talk. I just don't want to talk about them because I was going to go live today, and I'm just like, I don't want to talk about them. Like, it's going to have to be something just astounding, and nothing astounding can happen. It's just like, it's terrible, man. It's just terrible. They're a terrible team. They make me upset, and I want to say good stuff, but I cannot be honest with myself. But there's a bigger plan, so I'm not gonna live in the I'm not gonna ever stop. Hopefully, but it's just certain things that happen with it makes it difficult sometimes. Spin the NFL team wheel. I can't do it, because you know what's gonna happen. You know what's gonna happen with the NFL team wheel, Heidi? I'm gonna spin the NFL team wheel, and it's gonna land back on the Texans for me. That's what's gonna happen. That's the kind of luck that I have right now dealing with this organization. That's exactly what's gonna happen. It's a terrible, terrible situation. I can't leave. I'm in a toxic relationship with the Texans. They cheat on me. They abuse me. They've let themselves go. They have no personality. They don't cook. They don't clean. They don't wash clothes. They lay up on the couch eating bonbons. And they got the coronavirus. Anyway, let me get up out of here, man. I fucks with y'all. Y'all be cool like y'all be cool, man. I appreciate each and every one of y'all. Y'all don't have to go home. I'm going to go into Discord for a little bit. And let y'all, if there's any birds outside, see what I'm talking about. Honcho, you got a fucking bird on your shoulder? No, I don't. And then I'll chop it up with y'all till I get tired and doze off, which will be shortly. But I thank y'all for coming through. We'll be back at tomorrow at noon, expected at noon. And until then, y'all got to go home, come to the Discord. But y'all do got to get the fuck up out of here. I'm out.